What is up, everybody? Welcome back here to the Sky Factory. So last time we were getting started on making plans to do something with this wither spawner over here. As you can see, I've made a little bit of a platform here, and I've got the went ahead and made some weatherproof glass and made a little containment structure here. It's probably way bigger than it needs to be, but whatever. Living in excess again. I guess got a random stray block here. Pick this stuff up. Boom. So yeah, originally I had just the bottom. I left that obsidian, but it was spawning monsters on it, and I didn't want. Once I get this thing built, I didn't want to be collecting a bunch of random drops from other mobs. So I went ahead and made the bottom glass. Of course, you can see it's like spawnable area in there because it's clear, but they can't actually spawn now because there's no room. They have to have at least a block high for spiders and 3 blocks wide and all that stuff we've talked about before. So anyway, I've done some messing around, done some trial and error, and I think I've got it figured out what I want to do here. So let's get right into it. Wicked. So we take a look here. Just want to go over a few things. This stuff, we've seen this before. Item filters, conduits. This is new. These aren't exactly new, but I went ahead and made these ender chests. I'm really kind of not sure how those 100% work as far as the color codes. I was under the impression that you could change the colors to like whatever kind of combination that you want. But anyway, I did notice just like the bags there, you can, based on what color wool, you can at least make different colors, all 3 of the same color. So I made some, just actually the only kind of wool I had left to make 2 of them. I made some light gray ones to be different from that other chest over there. So basically what I want to do with these is have one here and put this on top of it to pick up whatever drops in there. And then I want to put this one just over here somewhere. Doesn't matter where for right now. That's just as good as anywhere else. So next thing, see some more of this stuff, these things. That's kind of something I haven't done before. This thing. Just want to kind of go over all these things that I've made that we haven't seen before. This is a redstone repeater. It's pretty easy. Some cobblestone, redstone torches, and a redstone. And what this thing does is you have a signal coming in over here, and then a signal coming out over here, and then you can set a delay, however many server ticks. Up to 4, and then if you needed a bigger delay for whatever reason, for whatever kind of redstone signal you were trying to process, you could stack these and have it up to however many you needed to count away however long you needed to delay the signal. But that just want to be just fine for what we're going to need. This is a downgrade speed for the conduits. Let's see, I think it was right there. Yeah. So obviously the speed upgrades increase the count by 4 per tick, or 4 per operation. And what this does is it slows it down from 4 as the default to just 1 item per cycle. Not really super important, but it just kind of helps keep things, before they get out of control, you can catch them and say, oh, that's not right. Anyway, next thing up, redstone conduit. It's another kind of conduit from Ender.io that we've never used to this point. But basically, it's just the redstone alloy made up the same way the other conduits are, and this just carries a redstone signal. instead of doing manual like vanilla redstone signals, which if I grab a piece of redstone here, I've never really messed with too much, but you just place the redstone down and it basically becomes a wire that carries a signal. The thing with the vanilla, you can see that power up there. If I put a signal on it, the signal starts here and then it decays by 1 all the way from 8 to 0. And then that strength actually does factor into certain machines if they're configured to handle a different, a specific strength of redstone signal. But that's why we're going to use this, is just because it carries the signal and you can just have it go wherever you want it to go. I've also got these draconium infused obsidian, which is kind of neat stuff. Some draconium dust, blaze powder, and obsidian turns into this draconium obsidian, which is going to help us make a portal. You can make custom portals, basically any shape that you want in 2D. It's talked about in the draconium book here somewhere. Where did it go? Somewhere in here. Fusion, dislocation. It's in here somewhere. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. It talks about it in here somewhere. I just whatever. Basically, you can make a shape up to like a stupid big. It just has to be 2D. It can't be a 3D structure. Pick that back up, and let's put this book away. Put some of this stuff away we don't need. Right. So this is what we're going to do with this is make a portal, which it's not my design. I have to give credit to Direwolf 20 for the inspiration on this. I saw him do it one time and I was like, that's pretty cool. And it's super cool to see and to like build. So I decided to go that way. Also a dislocator. I think I've talked about these a little bit before, but never really used one other than to upgrade it into the advanced one that we talked about last time. Again, it's just draconium dust, eye vendor, and blaze powder. And what I've done with this thing is I just took it inside here and shift right clicked it. So basically the way this thing works is it will, whatever direction you're facing when you set your location, the exact coordinate that you're standing on, and the dimension. So if you set it in this dimension, it's not going to send you to like, or whatever you set this thing to send. We'll talk about in a second. So I've just got it set right into the center block there. So if I was to right click this thing, whoop, right back to the center. So that's where we want that thing to end up. And then we're going to put it inside this dislocator receptacle, which basically activates the portal, and anything that falls into that portal is going to get teleported to whatever destination it's set to. You can also make these pedestals here. So if I was to set this pedestal over on the other side of the base and put my dislocator in it, and then go over and right click the pedestal, it'll shoot me to the location that I have saved in here. The advantage to this is it's stationary, but it doesn't use up any of the power. Same thing with this receptacle. If you're just carrying it around like this, you can see it's got damage now because I used it one time just to demonstrate it. So anyway, put this back together. That's already been set. And what I want to do is just kind of make the same shape. Whoops, didn't need to break that one out. Make the same shape as this. It doesn't have to be this big, but whatever. It is today. So what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7 by 7, basically, is what I had to set up, planned out to be. That should be all not touching, right? Let's just smash that out. Boom. And I broke my pick. Let's go fix that real quick. Awesome. Give me one piece of this to fix my hole. Fix your hole, boy. And what we're going to do is make make an outline of the area that we want our portal to be. And just somewhere, anywhere in the frame, it could be in any spot. You want to place your receptacle. And I believe you can actually paint this. So if this was in like a multiplayer situation and you had this portal set up somewhere and you didn't want somebody to necessarily know where the receptacle was, you can hide it and make it indistinguishable from these blocks here. Not 100% sure how to do that, but I know it's possible. Give me a torch, light this up, boom. And then what we want to do is just right click, right click, just regular right click, yeah. So once this thing's complete and you've got a receptacle and you have a destination set, you pop that thing in there, and now your portal takes you to where that thing is programmed to go to. It works for any kind of entity, whether it's monsters, items, players, doesn't matter. Anything that falls in that portal is going to end up inside there, or wherever the dislocator is set to go. So what we want to do now is build up our mechanical users that we made last time, and we want to have this thing kind of spawn in the middle. So we'll put that there, put this here, come on now, put that there. Whoop, and we're back in the hole. Alright, let's knock these out. And one like this, one like, one like that, and one like that. Dang. Alright, cool. Put another torch up here. We don't need mobs spawning on top of here. Cool. So we got that. That's our basic shape, the setup for the soul sand, right? So these are going to be soul sand, and then the wither skulls on top. That's how, make the shape of the spawn ritual altar thing. So what I want to do now, hook these things up with redstone so they can accept a redstone signal. And also I want item pipes to go in there. So we'll put the item pipes up on this. And we'll just run this back to here for now. Cool. Alright, so what I want to do is fall in the hole, because that's fun. So we want to put these to redstone pulse, right? Because we only want this thing to activate when we tell it to. These top three, I was trying to do place block and it wasn't working, and so I started playing around, and it makes sense. Use item on block for the skulls because they're not actually like full blocks; they're technically items, right? So we want to use item on block, right click. Random slot doesn't matter because we're going to set this to only accept the skulls, so it doesn't matter where they end up. It's only going to spit out skulls. Do the same for these two. Redstone pulse, use item, redstone pulse, use item. Now these, on the other hand, we're just going to do redstone pulse again for all of them, and place block, because these are going to be our sand. Place block. Same deal with the other ones. We're going to filter these to only accept sand, so it doesn't matter which position it chooses from. Make sure those are right. And do this last one. And place block. Cool. So that should be all set up. Now what I want to do, I want to set this to insert. I want to put an item filter in. Just spread those out. This top one, just to test this out first, make sure everything's working before we start just spawning withers randomly. I'm just going to go ahead and set it up to accept sand. Insert item filter whitelist sand. And actually I want these to be Is green the default? Yeah, okay, so I want these to be like different than default. So we'll call those brown. Okay, brown works. For some reason I feel like these things used to default red, but... And I also want to double check. I think this is default in this version. It's not always has been that way. In and out. We want the redstone signal. Unlike the other ones, I think it only does in and out or off, right? Yeah, so just have to make sure that they're actually sending a signal. In and out. In and out. Cool. So I set those to a different channel, and I'll explain that in a second. Why? So item insert sand. You can technically do this with the channels, but just to be on the safe side, I went with filters, just so no other possible item can go in here. Insert, filter, insert, filter, and one more time. Cool. I'm pretty sure those should already be defaulted to do what I need them to do. Now what I'm going to do is take my redstone signal. Do not want that. I want it to be this way. So basically this is the output, right? And then this is the input, and then this is, and in between is the delay length before the the input signal turns into the delay signal, right? And we want our delay signal to be green. No, brown. See, I thought those were... I don't know why these didn't default. No, because I did the wrong stupid thing. Right. So that's green. That's green. I need to go back and fix all these item conduits because I wasn't paying attention. So I guess it really doesn't matter. I could have just changed the other end of it, but... Did I make that green? Yeah, okay. Green. Fine. And I want these to be green also on the redstone. Green. Green. Right, so that's going to be my green delay, because the skulls have to be placed last, right? Or at least one of them. Technically, you could just make one of them last, but insert green. Okay, so I didn't screw those up. Good. And then the signal on these, we want red still. So what we're going to do is put it over here for now, just so we can watch and see what happens. Take a button, just a regular old button, and hook that up to our redstone. So basically what I've got going here is the output on here is sending a red signal to the input, and then I also want the red signal to continue back to, back around this thing. So I want the redstone signal to go all the way through and trigger this at the same time. I'm going to put a chest here. Set this to extract always. That should be disabled. I don't know why it even attempted to connect to it, but that's alright. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the sand in there. And actually I forgot to do something. So I just threw the sand in there. I had to just extract always like we usually do with these things. And what happened is somewhere one of these things has all the sand in it. So to fix that, what we, obviously we want this thing to have at least one in each. Right now I've got the sand coming out of the top too, just to make sure this thing's working right before I start spawning withers. But if we set this extract to round robin, basically it's going to go this one, this one, this one, this one, some way. I don't know exactly the pattern, but it's going to go from one, the outputs one at a time until it gets to the end, and then cycle back through again. And we can go ahead and throw this in there just to slow it down a little bit. It really doesn't matter, especially if you've got your filters and everything set up properly. But it gives you a chance while you're setting it up to go and make sure that it's throwing what the order is and whatnot if you need to be concerned about that. So, just double checking mentally here. We can disable this. That doesn't need to be connected to this side, and it might screw something up. So in theory, if I push this button here, I should get sand on the bottom 4, and then after the delay signals, the sand on the top should come out, right? Boom, just like that. Awesome. Break that out just one more time. Boom, sweet. So what I can do now, take this out and put this to Wither Skull. This thing, that's what I want right there. Put that in. Put that in. That's good. Okay. Take the sand out of these. Take that out. Take that out. And if I put the skulls in here, it should start pulling them out one at a time into these dudes. Just like that. Awesome. So I'm just double checking, making sure I feel like everything's in order here, because I make sure my sword's ready in case something screws up. So basically what should happen now is when I hit this button, it should spawn a wither, fall in the portal, shoot him into the box of death, and then we know what happens from there, right? All right. Oh yeah, wicked. It's a wicked pisser. And boom, nice. And then, oh, I was too close to it. That stuff should have went in there. So just to make sure that's working, let me grab some more of these Wither Skulls. I also want to test a theory I have with this setup too. Just make however many. That's still not enough. I want to have a couple. Yeah, I burned through all my essence when I was making the soul glass. I ended up making more of it than I was expecting, and I burned up all my supply of that stuff. I want this fertilized. Just go get some of this picked up real quick. Give me a couple of these. And do the job on this plant for a minute and get some of this essence. I want to have like a couple sets of skulls just to see if I can hit multiple withers in there at the same time. Shouldn't be a problem, but I haven't tested that yet. That should be enough. There we go. Nice. So now what I can do is just have a zombie spawn in. Or a skeleton. Sucker. So the old skeleton got a surprise there when he fell in the portal. Sucks to be him. Well, that should tell us if this thing worked. Yeah, so get that stuff out of there. Alright, so what I was saying before I got interrupted, what I should be able to do now is just keep this thing stocked up with sand and skulls. At some point, figure out a way to automate that some more. Just keep this stocked up, and that'll keep those things stocked up, etc. So let's give this a shot. Hit that, boom. Hit it again, boom. Oh yeah, look at that, 3 at a time. It's a party in there. Wicked. Boom. Nice. Yeah, get some. Sweet. That is what I'm talking about. Nice. So that is definitely cool beans. So that's gonna, oh, look at this. It's blowing up my job here. It's alright. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with that. So I find my pick. Just go ahead and get rid of these here anyway. Get rid of that stuff and give me a torchy torch. We'll put that back here a little farther. Hopefully it shouldn't get blown up again. I was kind of hoping that the glass here would absorb that, but I guess if they got, I think he got pushed over here from the other two exploding. It like pushed him over closer to the edge of the glass. And that's what caused that. So anyway, right on, we've got automatic, sort of automatic. I can automate this further. Like I said, I can keep this thing filling up. I can set up some kind of auto crafter to make the skulls out of the essence and somehow hook this this system up to output the soul sand into there, or just make chickens. Or I had to go. Oh, that's right. I was gonna go look for a chicken too. I could just go find some chickens and do it that way. However, however you end up doing it, you can just somehow automate this chest filling up, and then eventually, like I said, there is a way. I'm not sure. I'll have to go search around and find that mod or block or whatever it was that was automating it even farther, where it'll just automatically make wither stars until it gets to the number that you specify that you want to have all the time, and then I could have this thing pumping into here and just have it automatically in the system. So wicked. Got the withers even easier now, so that's good to go. You know what I did? I bet that's why that stuff exploded, because I forgot to put this glass back. I think luckily the hole was small enough he couldn't get out, but the explosion like vented. So cool. Anyway, we hope everybody's having a good day today, and we'll catch you next time. Not sure what I got on the menu, but it'll be some fun stuff, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.